Hi guys, you're welcome back to my channel. On today's tutorial, I'm going to be showing us how to transfer your basic bodice to your fabric, and I'll be showing you the technique of transferring your bust dart to your waist dart. So kindly watch this video to the end. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share and subscribe to our channel. Thank you. So this is a continuation of our basic bodice tutorial. The pattern we have here is the pattern we used previously, and I'm going to be showing you how to transfer this to this particular fabric. You can actually use any fabric of your choice. So the first thing we're going to be doing is to open up our bust dart. When it comes to transferring your dart to another point, there are two techniques to follow. The first technique to this is you must open up one particular dart for you to be able to transfer the next dart. So whether you're transferring to your waist or to your bust dart, or you're transferring to the shoulder, you have to slash open one dart first before closing the other. Then the second technique is all dart must meet at the bust point. So I've gone ahead to close my bust dart like this. Then after that, I'm going to be cutting out my dart allowance. Sorry, my voice isn't that clear because I'm a bit under the weather, so I'll just be taking this slowly. So once we are done cutting out our dart leg, the next thing to do is to transfer this with another pattern paper. So I'm going to be making use of a brown paper just for illustration purpose, so you can see this clearly. Now if you have a glue, you can actually use your glue to hold together the white pattern paper and the brown pattern paper. But because I don't have that, I'm going to be making use of my masking tape. So I'll use the masking tape and hold this in place. When we are done holding this in place, now we are going to carefully close our waist dart. Can you see the way I'm closing it? Don't bother about any fold at the bust point. Everything is going to normalize by the time we open it up. So this is how I closed it. I'm going to be repeating this so you actually see what I did here, so you'll be able to do yours carefully. So guys, I opened it up and I folded it from one point to the other point. Can you see? Now the next thing is to cut out our measurement. So please, while cutting this, make sure you follow the white pattern carefully so you don't add to your measurements. So I'm going to be cutting this, and I'm going to be cutting out the excess by the side because we don't really need it. So I'm going to be removing this, and I'll do this for the side, sorry, for the center. If you have a glue, it's actually going to be very easy for you. So this is all we have. Can you see the excess we have? So this excess is a combination of both our bust dart and our waist dart. We are done for the front panel, and this is the back panel. It doesn't need any alteration. So let's go ahead and transfer this to our fabric. Right now my fabric is already on fold, and I'm going to be working on the back panel first. So for the side seam allowance, we are adding just 1 inch seam allowance. I think 1 inch is just perfect to give you a perfect fit, but you can actually do what works for you. Then for the armhole, I'm actually adding 1/2 inch seam allowance around the armhole. I'm going to be adding 1/2 inch on the shoulder line as well, then 1/2 inch at the neck line area. Then for the zipper, I won't be adding any allowance at the zipper. Then, lest I forget, you're going to be adding 1/2 inch as well at your hemline. So I'm actually using another chalk to highlight this so you see what I'm doing properly. Can you see this? This is a 1/2 inch seam allowance at the armhole area. the shoulder and the neckline. Then the next place, I'm going to be adding 1/2 inch at the hemline. So guys, if you've seen this video to this point, that means you're really enjoying our tutorial. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell to be notified anytime we upload a new video. Okay, thank you. When we are done marking this, we are going to go ahead and cut out this pattern. So guys, kindly note this tip. While making use of patterns, before you transfer your patterns to your fabric, please kindly confirm all your measurements. This is strictly for pattern drafting. Confirm your measurements over and over before you transfer it to your fabric. So we are done cutting this out. Remember to notch your dart as well. So I'm going to notch my dart. This is very, very important. I'm going to be notching the midpoint. Then I'm going to put a mark around the dart legs as well. Also, do not forget to notch your zipper allowance. Then using a pin, I'm going to be holding that. I'm going to be holding down where my dart point is. Can you see that point? And I'm going to be leaving that pin there just for a reminder to know where my dart starts from. So you can actually use your chalk to highlight this so you don't forget. So guys, for the front panel, I have my fabric on fold already, and the folded part of my fabric is meeting the center front of my pattern, and I'm going to be holding this down with my pins so it won't be moving around while we are putting our side seam allowance. So I'm going to be holding this all around, even by the side and the shoulder. Now we are going to be adding our side seam allowance. Remember, for the back we added 1 inch at the side, so I'm going to be adding 1 inch at the side seam as well. Then I'm going to be adding 1/2 inch at the armhole, the shoulder point and the neckline, just the same way we did for the back. For the hemline, kindly note how I'm adding my 1/2 inch. So while adding the 1/2 inch, I'm following this curve, especially at the dart area. Can you see how I'm forming that V? So just use your tape and follow every curve. Of course, you know it's not straight. So I'm going to be highlighting this, making sure I highlight that area as well. Can you see this? It's matching up. So we're going to connect the rest and we're going to cut this out. So guys, this is what it looks like after cutting your fabric. Now I'm going to be showing us how to close up this dart. The first thing we're going to be doing is to highlight the dart leg. So I'm marking this and I'm marking the other point, and I'm highlighting this midpoint as well. Can you see this? Then I'm going to be using my pin to mark on my bust point. Then I'm going to be removing other pins as well. So the pin I actually placed on the bust point is a guideline to know where my bust starts from. Sorry, where my dart starts from. So I'm going to hold on that pin and I'm going to be taking out my pattern. So can you see the pin is still there? And I'm going to be using my chalk to mark on that particular point. And I'm going to be doing that for the back as well. This is a guideline to know where our dart leg starts from and where it ends. Can you see? So I'm going to go ahead and remove this pin right now, then transfer our dart. I'm going to open up my fabric, and this is the wrong side actually. That is where we've marked all our points. Now I'll be folding the dart like this, making sure the notched part meets each other. Then can you see the middle point? So if you actually want to draw your darts, you can decide to come down by 1 inch from your bust area, then connect these darts, or you can still decide to connect it like that. So for this tutorial, I'm just connecting it like that. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm making sure all the notched marks are in place. Then I'm going to be using my ruler to connect this dart. Can you see how it's being connected? And I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. Just watch what I'm doing carefully. Then I'll repeat this for the back as well. Then I'm going to go over to the other side of my darts and I'll repeat the same process. Can you see? I'm confirming if my dart leg sits in place. Then I'm going to connect this as well. Now we are done marking the darts. Let's open this up and see what it looks like. Can you see this? So we're going to take this to our sewing machine and we are going to sew this place down. And we are going to sew here as well. So guys, I've done that. Can you see what we have? This is the excess we've gotten from transferring our bust dart to the waist dart. Can you see this? So our fabric already has the same shape as the pattern when we closed the bust dart earlier. So can you see? Now we are going to open this up, take it to our ironing table and iron it very well. So you can decide to leave your dart this way or you can decide to open it, but for me I don't want it to be bulky, so I'm going to be slashing my dart open and I'll contour here. And note, while slashing these darts, I'm not getting to the bust point, I'm just stopping midway. So we are going to take this to our ironing table, open the seams, that is your dart area, and give it a good press. So guys, this is what we have here. Can you see this? The bust is already coming out even without padding your dress or whatever. This is really nice and I like it. It is very important that I show you this. Can you see that the side seams are meeting each other? Remember when we drafted our pattern, the front half length was different from the back half length. And while our pattern was meeting as well, you have to make sure that your fabric, when you've transferred it, is meeting as well. So we've come to the end of this tutorial. If you like this video, kindly give it a thumbs up Don't forget to share this video with your family and your friends, and subscribe to our channel. If you have any question concerning this, kindly drop it in the comment section. Don't forget to drop your suggestions as well, as we are going to be there to answer all questions. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.